Welcome to NCE News Wrap, sponsored by Groundforce Shoreco, where we bring you some of the month's biggest stories in a quick 5-minute roundup. In major news this month, the opening date for Crossrail's Bond Street station has finally been revealed. TfL has announced that the station will open shortly before Elizabeth Line services are increased on the 6th of November. Work at Bond Street is continuing after the station missed the Elizabeth Line opening in May. A recent report by the Greater London Authority concluded that there have been issues around the number of contractors, the complexity of the contractual interfaces, and the relationship between the contractors building the stations and those tunnelling. In other news, Transport for London has accepted a long-term capital funding settlement from the Department for Transport after long negotiations. TfL and the DfT have been discussing a potential settlement for several months. Without one, TfL cannot plan for the long term, and Commissioner Andy Byford has said it would enter a rapidly deteriorating situation in which we would not be able to continue to operate. At NCE's Future of Rail conference, Byford emphasised the importance of a settlement.
In all the time I've been Commissioner, we have not come out of a funding crisis. There's no sugarcoating it. It is a funding crisis. And the longest I've had to plan ahead as the Commissioner is 6 months, maximum 6 months ahead, which is very hard to do when you're running a £10 billion organisation.
So what exactly does the funding deal mean? Money ring-fenced for major projects is largely for jobs already started or mostly completed. This includes the Northern Line extension, the Bank Station capacity upgrade, and the Barking Riverside extension. As part of the deal, the DfT also expects TfL to deliver the Silvertown Tunnel and works to support HS2. On Hammersmith Bridge, the DfT stipulates that given the extraordinary circumstances of the pandemic during the period of this agreement, we expect to finalise a memorandum of understanding between the government, TfL and the London Borough of Hammersmith and Fulham to ensure all parties' commitment to the reopening of Hammersmith Bridge on a permanent basis, initially to pedestrians, cyclists and river traffic, and depending on costs, to motorists. Meanwhile, the recent changes in government have potential implications for major infrastructure projects. New Prime Minister Liz Truss has pledged to ramp up nuclear and renewable energy generation with the aim of tackling the current energy crisis and ensuring the UK is a net energy exporter by 2040. Speaking in the House of Commons, Truss said that energy policy has not focused enough on securing supply, adding that there is no better example of this than nuclear. As such, she said the government will end the short-term approach to energy security and supply and make sure we are never in this situation again. Truss has appointed Anne-Marie Trevelyan as the new Transport Secretary at a time when decisions on a number of key projects hang in the balance. Trevelyan inherits several projects awaiting funding and planning decisions, including the Stonehenge Tunnel, Hammersmith Bridge, HS2, Northern Powerhouse Rail and East West Rail. In tunnelling news, the TBM has been launched that will dig TfL's Silvertown Tunnel. It is the largest diameter machine to be used in the UK, and the front section alone weighs 1,200 tonnes. And finally, former Prime Minister Boris Johnson has confirmed that the government will contribute £700 million to the proposed Sizewell C nuclear power station. Johnson made the announcement during one of his last speeches, adding that he is absolutely confident it will get over the line. He said that we need to pull out our national finger and get on with Sizewell C, and emphasised that it would be absolute madness not to. While planning permission for the project was granted in July, details on the government's investment plans had yet to be announced. Industry groups have now emphasised the need to push on. Thank you for watching NCE News Wrap. Join us again next month for another roundup. This news wrap was brought to you by New Civil Engineer in partnership with Ground Force Shoreco. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content, but for now, here's a bit more information on our sponsor.
Ground Force Shoreco are the leading supplier of shoring equipment in the UK and Ireland, delivering first-class engineering and designs, exceptional service, and the highest quality kit for over 40 years. From the smallest excavations to the largest. Ground Force Shoreco, experts in excavation safety.